Once upon a time, in a peaceful village nestled between lush green hills, there stood an ancient willow tree by a small river. The villagers revered the tree for its wisdom and strength, believing it had witnessed centuries of change. Yet, as the seasons passed, the tree began to wither. Its once vibrant leaves turned brown, its branches sagged, and its trunk showed signs of aging. The village's elders were worried. "This tree is our symbol of endurance and wisdom," they said. "Without it, the village will lose its spirit." But no one knew what to do. Some tried to water it, others attempted to prop it up with wooden supports, but nothing seemed to help. One day, a traveler came to the village, a humble wanderer with a calm demeanor. Seeing the concerned villagers gathered around the tree, he approached them. "What's the matter with the tree?" he asked. "It's dying," an elder replied. "It has been here for generations, but now it's losing its strength. We don't know what to do." The traveler stood silently for a moment, observing the tree. He then walked over to the trunk, placed his hand gently on it, and closed his eyes. After a few minutes, he turned to the villagers and spoke softly, "This tree has grown too accustomed to its form. It needs to reinvent itself if it is to survive." The villagers were puzzled. "What do you mean?" The traveler smiled. "The willow is a symbol of resilience, but resilience doesn't mean clinging to the past. Sometimes, to grow, you must let go of what has held you back. Change is not a threat, but an opportunity." The villagers watched him closely as he spoke, and the traveler continued, "The tree needs to shed its old ways of growth. It needs to let go of the branches that no longer serve it and reach for new ones. It must adapt to the seasons of change just as you all do." The villagers were skeptical, but they trusted the traveler. They agreed to try his advice, even though it felt uncertain. Over the following days, the villagers carefully pruned the tree, cutting away the dead branches and allowing new growth to sprout. They cleared the ground around it, letting more light reach its roots. Slowly, the willow began to transform. Its once brittle branches grew stronger, and tiny green buds appeared, hinting at new life. As months passed, the tree blossomed in ways the villagers had never imagined. Its roots were deeper, its trunk more resilient, and its leaves grew more vibrant than ever. The village flourished once again, as the symbol of wisdom and endurance stood stronger than before. The elder, who had once been skeptical, looked at the traveler and said, "You were right. The willow had to reinvent itself to thrive. We, too, must learn to reinvent ourselves when the world around us changes." The traveler smiled and nodded. True strength is not in resisting change, but in embracing it. Just as the willow renews itself, so too must we. Reinvention is not the end of something, it is the beginning of something greater. And so, the villagers learned a valuable lesson: reinvention is not about abandoning who you were, but about evolving to become who you are meant to be. Just as the willow tree embraced the changing seasons, they too learned to adapt, grow, and thrive in the face of life's constant transformations.